Welcome back to Timberborn. Last episode, we finally got our whole scrap metal deal up and running, and it looks like we've got a drought on the way, so we'll have to see how that goes. The thing that I was thinking of working on this time around was irrigation. That's something I don't think I've ever done on the stream. And basically, it's a means of taking this water that we're pumping out of the river and using it to create more arable land in places that are naturally dry and cracked. Now, I'm not sure if right before a drought is the right time for me to be doing this. But let's see, what kind of resources do we have? Because I think one thing I'm going to want to do is make sure we've got plenty of water storage during the drought, so that I'm not taking as much of a risk trying to build irrigation during it. Because irrigation, it sucks a lot of water, but also gives you a lot of opportunities to stay ahead of your whole food situation, which was a problem I had last time. So I'm thinking a couple more of these large tanks would probably be valuable. These tanks cost gears to make. What is my gear situation? I've got 33 gears in storage, and it looks like I'm probably making more. Where do I make gears these days? This is the gear workshop? Okay, yeah, so it looks like I'm getting planks in here. I am making gears kind of slowly. That's fine. I don't use them that often. So let's build this thing. It takes 20 gears. Okay, so this thing is nice and all, but it is expensive. So I can only probably build the one right now. So I'll make a little staircase down to it. A little road. There we go. We'll get that working. And let's also build this irrigation tower that we laid out last time. So the way this is going to work is, see, this irrigation tower has got this yellow sort of little halo around it. It's going to transform all of this area into arable land by sort of dripping water into it from above, I guess. And so I've placed it high up so that it can have a wider reach. I'm pretty sure if I placed it low down, it wouldn't irrigate things that were above it. And then I can use a lot of this space as additional farmland, which is good because we need it. So one thing I should also do, because this is going to be in sort of my central Cogstown district, let's have a look at, okay, so we've got 10 open beds and 6 baby beavers. So that's potentially 16 new workers that might be coming in, which is good because we'll need them if we're going to be working on these farms. One viewer, Peter Knutson, has been leaving me tons of advice. And by the way, Peter, thank you so much. Your input, I don't think I've responded to most of it, but I have read all of it, and I really appreciate it. I believe it was Peter who suggested that one thing that would benefit from doing in a place like this, where, one thing you don't want to do is have a sudden rash of beaver deaths just due to like old age suddenly cost you a bunch of workers. You want to have a few extra workers lying around. Just sort of, as your population fluctuates up and down, you want to have some flexibility. One way to do that is just have a bunch of unemployed beavers, which is sort of the thing I've been doing automatically. However, another thing that you can do is pick a job that doesn't really need to be done, that has a lot of potential workers, and then make it a low priority job. And I'll show you what I mean. So let's look at the labor section here. So you can build a hauling post and a builder's hut. Both of these jobs, basically they just add more beavers to do a standard day-to-day thing that usually gets done by sort of the beavers that work here at the district center. They run around collecting resources, building things, that sort of stuff all the time, moving things from one place to another. But there aren't a lot of them. I don't remember if I've actually built, I think I might have built a builder's hut over here. Yes, I did build a builder's hut over here at one point when I was sort of over-indexing on builders. And I did make it a low priority. So these builders, they're not doing anything. I'm not building anything over here. They're just sitting on their butts. But because this is low priority, if I did make another job over here that needed a beaver, one of these beavers would quit their job here and go do the other higher priority job. So I don't think I have done that over here. And so I think I'm going to try that. I'm going to build... I don't see, unless I'm just not noticing it, I don't see a builder's hut, and I don't see a hauling post. I think both of those might actually be valuable for a place like this. What was this one? Oh, this is a bakery. That's right. I'm making bread there. Awesome. So I think I want to pick a good spot to stick my builders and my haulers. And we'll basically make those, and then we'll sort of maybe even add a little bit more population capacity here, but then let let that population sort of fill in the builder's hut and the hauling post. So let's start with the builder's hut because I do have some building jobs here that I want to make sure get done. I don't know if it needs to be particularly close to anything. I don't want to put it on my new arable land because that's just going to be a waste. I could try. Yeah, I could put it right on top of this. I mean, why not, right? So we'll slap that on there. We'll extend the path to go up to its door. This spot I've reserved for another bakery, if it turns out I need another bakery. And then let's also add a hauler's post. Because actually, even though right now I'm building a bunch of things and I'm feeling like the builder's hut is more immediately valuable to me, I think long term, actually, the hauler's post is going to make my entire community more efficient. And that feels like a valuable thing to invest in. So let's stick this hauler's post right here in the middle of town. Let's extend this path out to it. And then let's ramp up the speed. So we've got a bunch of beavers all scurrying around. And right now, I think that if I want to, I could prioritize the builder's hut. Get them to build it faster and then have more builders. Except I'm not actually going to have more builders. Because right now I don't have any unemployed beavers anyway. So once this work starts, both of these, I'm going to make them lowest priority. They're the last jobs that will get filled by beavers. Oh, and look at this! Our irrigation tower is working. So now the way this works is hauler beavers are running down to our water pumps and our water storage. They're carrying water up and they're dumping water into this barrel. And the water in this barrel slowly depletes as it is feeding the terrain here with water. So this is expensive when it comes to water. This is not a thing that you should do lightly. You should do it when you know you can afford it. I'm being actually a little bit uncareful about it right now. So I'm doing it when I don't actually know for sure that I can afford it. And there's a drought coming up. So we're going to find out if this was a good idea or not. One thing I can do is I can add some more water pumping capacity. Right there. And right there. It's kind of getting silly trying to put water pumps out here. But whatever. It's fine. Stick a water pump right there. And a path to it. And yeah, so I'm going to try to up my pumping capacity. Hopefully that will help me sort of survive this next drought. I'm trying to think where else is a good place to stick one of these things. I really am just sort of running out of literal space to stick pumps. I mean, I guess, you know what? We could build a bridge across this gap. That's kind of tempting. And then we could start building water pumps on the other side of it. What is my path situation like? Okay, these paths are already extremely red, which I think means that if I try to extend it much further, that's actually going to be a problem. So I think I won't do that. Now, one thing I could do is extend a path through this arable land down here. It would be a more direct path. What is this? This is lumberjack. Are these maple trees? Okay, yeah, so this is part of my tree economy. So Cogs is wondering, how planned out are the official Undead Lab streams? So we plan them out a month or two in advance, typically. And then, but we're usually flexible. We can change them at the last minute and stuff. Part of me is wondering if Joe has already done... Cogs was actually asking if Joe could do a Daybreak tutorial. I feel like he might have already done that at some point, which isn't necessarily the reason why we couldn't do it again, but I've got it in my head that he might have already made one. So Coalition wonders if I'm playing just Timberborn today or if I'm going to be playing Timberborn and another game. I think I'm just playing Timberborn today, but we'll certainly see where it goes. So, okay, so I've got my irrigation here. So let's pause this real quick. I definitely need to pay attention to making sure I know when this water runs low. When this water runs out and this stuff dries up, I don't want to lose my potatoes. I definitely have to notice. So I'm going to slow things down and try to keep that visible in the background while I figure out what to do with this land. So let's have a look at our storage, which is something I often do here. So we've got wheat that has not filled up the storage. We have got flour, which has filled up the storage. And we have got bread, which has almost filled the storage. So what this is telling me is that I'm grinding all the wheat that I'm grinding, all the wheat that I'm getting, I'm grinding. When I grind it up, it doesn't bake fast enough to empty out this. And so that means I think I do have room for another bakery. So I'm going to stick a bakery here. And so we'll have a second bakery, which will chew through this, but that's going to mean we're going to need more wheat. And so I'm going to plant wheat up here. Let's get a farmhouse going. Yeah, and so I want to stick the farmhouse on the less arable land. Stick the farmhouse right there. And will that be enough farmers? The thing is, I've also got these farmers here, which could help out with this land. So I probably don't need more than just the one farmer here. And then let's make the rest of this land be wheat. So let's get all of that land right there is wheat. This land is wheat. This land is wheat. And we could even... Yeah, so this entire platform up here could also be wheat. In fact, I'm wondering, can we get someone over here? Probably could. What's the best way to do it? I guess it might be... So is it worth it to cost myself some of this upper farmland in order to get a path over here? Of course, we don't necessarily need a path. Like, when somebody is doing, like, a carpentry job, like a building job, or if they're doing a farming job, they don't need a path for that. They just need to go within their range. So we can build stairs here without connecting them to a path, and I think they'll still work. So let's look at our other foodstuffs. Is there anything else that we need more of? Okay, so it looks like raw potatoes. We are grilling more of them than we're getting. It looks like chestnuts. Chestnuts are a little bit more expensive to produce. So let's say that right here, directly under the irrigation, where they're less likely to run out of juice, let's put a bunch of potatoes up here. Oh, there's a reminder for me to stream during my lunch break. Cool, thanks for reminding me, Windows. Okay, so we're going to be building some farmland up there. We got, basically, right now the only beavers that are working this land are these beavers that can only reach some of it. This place, once it's built, will be able to reach all of it. And then once this staircase is built, I guess this staircase... this is probably showing me what I can reach with this staircase. So if I wanted to be able to reach all of this arable land over here, I might need to, like... Oh, yeah, okay. I think I know what I would want to do. I should delete this road. And, wait, let's quickly look at the... Okay, we haven't run out of water yet. Delete that road. And build a staircase up here. Not going to use it yet, but I like to sort of plan ahead with my pathing stuff. So Cog says apparently the most recent Daybreak stream that we did on the official State of Decay 2 channel was 3 years ago. So yeah, it might not be crazy for us to... Oh, well, my Lido is starting to run out of water. It might not be crazy to go back to it at some point. That is a good suggestion. So I'll suggest it to the group. I think we've got a planning meeting tomorrow. I'll suggest that to the group. Raneth Cord suggests that not a lot has really changed with Daybreak over the years, though, except that now you can carry twice as much Clio ammo. So that might actually be worth sort of just mentioning in there. But yeah, you're right. That is kind of... there's less to say. Proxicus, you're not late. I'm early. I started this stream a little earlier than usual because I was working myself to death last night and I felt like I deserved a slightly longer lunch break. So I'm taking a slightly longer lunch break today. Oh, Coalition is pointing out that also sidearms are a thing that somebody could actually employ in Daybreak. That is true as well. That actually that sounds kind of like an interesting challenge, because there's a lot of sort of strategies you can have playing Daybreak that don't involve using a lot of Clio ammo and don't involve using a sidearm. So actually trying to play Daybreak in a way that directly makes use of those two benefits actually sounds kind of interesting. That sounds like it might be sort of enough justification to do the stream. So yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I'll suggest it to the group. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, so Raneth Court has showed up. Sorry, Raneth Court, that I started this earlier than our usual streaming time. It probably made it a little bit more difficult for you to be the first one in like you usually are. But I'm glad you showed up. Okay, I feel like any second this water's going to dry up, and I'm going to need to immediately release some. Here we go. There we are. Yes. So let's release some from the reservoir up above. Oh, yeah, you thought those potatoes would be dry for a second, but nope, they're fine. All right, that should last us a little bit longer. And in the meantime, okay, we've got our farm up and running, and we're planting a ton of wheat. So, and we got a bunch of harvestable wheat down here. Now, let's have a look again. Okay, so it looks like they're not harvesting this wheat very fast. What's going on? Oh, I don't have beavers working here because for some reason, I de-emphasized these workplaces. I had forgotten I'd done that. I think I did that because I hadn't actually planted the wheat yet. And so I didn't want beavers to bother working here before there was wheat. But now they can actually harvest the wheat. Okay, so cool. That might actually be an explanation for why my wheat was down, because apparently I just de-emphasized these workplaces. One thing I didn't actually do, though, we've got a bunch of undone jobs, mostly because we've got this place, which is ready to employ way more beavers than it has room for. Oh, this place is going to be making bread and employing a beaver. And then, this place right here. So this is the builder's hut. It also can employ a bunch of people. All right, yeah, so that's why it's showing us having so many empty slots. But let's have a look. So we've got 15 baby beavers just waiting to come in and do these jobs. So we're probably okay. My eyes are bigger than my stomach, though, and I do kind of want to build a little bit more housing. I'm just a weirdo who wants all his beavers to die. But actually, I'm wondering, I might be able to stack 2 fairly large apartments on top of this, on top of each other, okay, so that wants to be there. Huh. All right, hold on. Got a little bit of an idea that doesn't quite work. Okay, here's what I want to do. I want to kill this. Oh no, we can't get to the water anymore. Oh no, we're all going to die. I could have used the delete tool for this, but I didn't for some reason. What I was imagining was I could extend out like that, which is actually really inconvenient for this thing, because now I have to do some weird shenanigans. You know, what should I have? I feel like there's a better way I could have set up this entire staircase situation. But I have not done that. So what is the best way for me to manage this? I should have rotated this so that the door was facing a different way, because this is just awkward right there. That's really awkward. I don't like that. But whatever, my other ambitions just have to be fueled. So now I can put this here and that there. It's just, that stack is just so nice. Once I realized I could do that, I couldn't not do that. Right? Right? Tell me I couldn't not do that. And, oh wait, I could even stack another one on top of it. I could go like this, and I could stack another one. This is too many beavers. This is a stupid idea. But I just happen to have, no, not that. I just happen to have all of these paths in exactly the right places to make that work. I can make a really tall tenement. So I had to do it. You saw, the game made me do that. Oh yeah, so La Coalition, yeah, I think there's a lot that could be done, I think, to rebalance the skills in State of Decay 2. I agree. I am not sort of I'm not really plugged into the priorities of the team there. I don't know if like rebalancing tweaks like that are sort of on the slate, but calling out metalworking as being one that is not extremely useful, completely fair, and I think I agree with you. Okay, so we are running low on this water again. Gotta pay attention. The drought is almost over, but it's 2 more days, and I'm betting I'm gonna have to replenish this again sometime soon. But so far we're doing okay. I'm actually feeling like over here we might need more beavers working on this farm down here to keep it going, because we've got a lot of harvestable wheat. Oh, here it goes, here it goes. Let's pour the water out again. And now my sunflowers are starting to get dry. But that's okay, because sunflowers can take it. They can be dry for a little while. So it'll die in 1.8 days. We got 1.7 days of drought left. So basically, as soon as the drought ends, I need to immediately raise these to get this reservoir filling up to save these sunflowers. And I'm starting to wonder, like, what other solutions could I use to try to make this reservoir last longer? Because there is kind of a crazy idea that I could chase here to try to, like, basically widen the space that this thing takes up. But it's a little crazy. I don't know if I want to do it this episode. Yeah, I'll have to think about that. Oh, we got some injured beavers. Which actually reminds me, that was one of the other things I wanted to do. So we've got injured beavers who are sleeping in these tents, but one thing I don't think we've ever built is a healer. And I'm trying to remember, where do healers live? Healer, right there. There he is. So the healer requires metal, but we finally have metal. So we can unlock this healer, and we can build a healer in our town. And I believe what the healer does is make those medical tents more effective. Like they'll make a resource that gets consumed by those medical tents and makes them work better. So what I think we should do is build a new path across here. In fact, let's do that first and separately. Let's build a new path across that. And then we can delete this older path and stick a healer on this rooftop. So I'll keep an eye on my water. Let's make sure that we don't lose our crops. But once they've finished connecting this path, I'll build a healer up here. And that healer will be able to get stuff down to these medical tents. And I can even build more medical tents if I wanted to. If I wanted to be nice to my beaver. If I wanted to care about, worker safety. So Malator suggests one thing I could do is use explosives to make the reservoir deeper. So yeah, so making it deeper would make it last longer over the long haul. But one thing I would like to do is make each level of it last longer. It's like make it less frequent for me to have to drop down the levels of the floodgates, because the longer because I'm going to lose these guys because the water level dropped so low, it's no longer feeding them. If I had been able to drop the water level more slowly, these guys would have gotten watered for longer. And so what I'm thinking I might need to do is stretch out the horizontal capacity of the reservoir rather than the vertical depth of the reservoir. Also, floodgates can only be, I think, 4 tiles high. And so even if you made a reservoir that was like 8 deep, you couldn't floodgate it. You couldn't get the water out. And so I think that breadth to a reservoir is probably ends up being more useful than depth. But breadth is costly to land area. And so figuring out where you can afford to put the breadth is the big question. Okay, 0.1 days left. And we're going to slam... Let's just slam the... we're not getting any water out of them anyway. Let's slam these floodgates shut. So that as soon as water starts coming out of here... Okay, they are dying. A couple of the ones that were closest to death are... Oh, we're losing our sunflowers, no! But water's about to start coming out. Okay, we're saving a few of them. But we need to fill up this area. It's not enough to have water coming out of it. These sunflowers in the back depend on this water getting deep enough that it extends to them. And that's going to take its time. So, yeah, okay, so I think we've identified the next problem we'd like to solve, which is extending the usefulness of this reservoir. And now I've just got to think about exactly how that works. So one way we could do it, you are correct, one way we could do it is with explosives. We could use explosives to, for instance, clear out these dandelion fields. Now, dandelions are what's used by the healer. Oh, by the way, the healer. Okay, cool. We are in a good position now to... Let's not delete that. To delete this path. And actually, I don't know that we need this anymore. Delete that path and build our healer. And the healer is going to process dandelions into healing. Luckily, so I believe that I've got a bunch of dandelions stored up. Those sunflower seeds. Yeah, I've got 60 dandelions stored up. And so one thing, yeah, okay, so I was thinking I could just blow up the dandelion fields and, blow up some of these, trees and things like that. And that would certainly get me some breadth there if I got explosives. But do I want to get rid of this many dandelions? Another option is to get rid of these berries by building out a reservoir tank out here and cutting through here to fill it. Or we could kind of do both. We could, basically cut a hole through the dandelions, not to disrupt this at all. Cut a hole through the dandelions, killing some of them, but not all of them, but then still building a tank out here where the berries are. Because berries are, once you've got the rest of your food economy up and running, you can see these berries, most of them are not harvested, because the beavers just don't need them. They've got other things in their diet, and they prefer all those other things. Coalition wants to know if we're doing anything for Valentine's Day. We've been so distracted by, kid stuff. We have not been focused on Valentine's Day, so my wife and I are at the last minute are trying to figure out what to do. So we have not actually made a plan yet. But, yeah, we do acknowledge that it's Valentine's Day, and we love each other very much. Yes, Cog wants me to call that next episode where I do that, Reservoir Beavers. That absolutely works. Oh, Malitor says, aren't there water pumps to put water back into the river? So you fill until the drought and then dump the tanks back into the river. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, so there is. I have not been using it, but there is absolutely a water dump facility, which is a lot like the irrigation facility, which instead of beavers transporting water to it and then it creates arable land, you can actually have it dump water out just like these water sources up here. So if you wanted to have basically you could create a water tower that way. You could build a big water tower, pump water into it. Oh, that is tempting, actually, to try to do something like that. Pump water into a big tank during the wet season, and then open a floodgate to dump that same water out. Oh, that's such a weird idea. I don't think I'm well equipped to do that right now. I think I would need to make a whole district for it. Oh, that is weirdly tempting, though. I could stick it up here, basically. Build a big tank all the way up here and basically stick a tap on it that feeds into this and just basically replenish this. That's such a weird idea. I'm seriously considering this. Because the method of having an external tank over here or extending the reservoir over this way, that's an idea that I like, but I was actually thinking of doing that. I was thinking of trying to build something in the diorama map later on. And the diorama map is where I would think I would have to do that. The tank building idea is so crazy. It's so crazy, it might work. Okay, so I'm going to try to focus on that next episode. But, hey, check out what we learned this episode. We can... Oh, look, our first irrigated potatoes are ready to go. A bunch of these are also ready to go, or almost ready to go. Our wheat is taking a little bit longer, but it looks like, see, our bakery is now churning out bread like crazy. We're capping off our bread here. We're still going through yeah. In fact, we might need to have. I'm doing some more storage for bread. We need more bread storage. Where are we storing our bread now? Probably under here, right? Yep, we're storing our bread there. We got all the bread we could ever ask for. And where does new bread go? I'm thinking new bread storage probably goes. Does that work? I don't know. There's not a good place for. I don't know if this disrupts. This looks like it's warning me. It's gonna like disrupt the thing. Why is it showing? Maybe this is just showing me that it'll be connected to power or something like that. I don't think it's gonna disrupt the. I'm nervous. I don't know what the yellow means. Oh, power connection. Oh, it's because I'm blocking a power connection. That's what that's telling me. I don't mind blocking that power connection. Okay, cool. So there we go. So this is going to be bread storage. Let's pile up as much bread as we can. Let's see. Okay, so I think we're good. I think we sort of accomplished what we wanted to accomplish. Our food, okay, our food is at 3.5 thousand carrots. Let's speed this up again. This is not really carrots, it's just food. It's 3.5 thousand for the entire community. Let's have the sun go down. And let's just make sure, okay, so now everyone's eating. It's dropping down to 3.3. 3.2 is everyone's eating their food. It's dropping. And then let's just go through one more day and make sure that overall, 3.1, overall it's on the rise. If overall it's on the rise, then we're good. If it's on the wane, then we've got a food problem to solve. And so, yeah, I mean, definitely because I've built this new apartment complex, we're going to get a bunch of new beavers. If our food is on the wane, we definitely need to ramp up our capacity. So we got some beavers up here that can harvest potatoes. Potatoes can be fed into the the little cookhouses and things like that. So we've got our 2 bakeries running. We've got these 2 little cookhousey place grilling potatoes. Something is making the grilled whatever these are called, chestnuts. I don't know where my grilled chestnuts are getting grilled. Where are my chestnuts at? These guys are making potatoes. That's not food. That's a smelter. Is this chestnuts? That's chestnuts. Okay, so really a lot of our best food is coming from these 2 bakeries, these 2 potato grillers, and this chestnut griller. So, okay, we're back up at 3.5. Let's see if we can get to 3.6 before the end of the day. If we get up to 3.6, yes, 3.6. Okay, cool. So the overall amount of food in our community is going up day over day. So that's good. That means that we've made enough. We're sort of keeping pace with our population, though since the population is about to grow, that could easily change. So we need to keep an eye on that. And just anytime we've got sort of the baseline ingredient for something is maxing out its storage, and the sort of final product is maxing out its storage, that means we probably have more space for processing. I could probably actually build another bakery on the strength of these full coffers of wheat flour. And if I built another bakery, they would build even more bread. I mean, look at this. I just built this bread storage. It's almost full. Like, we are producing bread and wheat so fast, we could probably expand even further. But we're going to save that for another episode. So I just wanted to confirm that the town was doing okay. We were not about to hit another cascading failure. And it feels like that's the case. So next episode, let's start thinking about building that massive tank. That's such a weird idea, but it's totally feasible. So yeah, I'm fascinated by that now. Whose suggestion was that? I forgot who said that. Malator. That was Malator's idea. Okay, so yeah, so we're gonna engage in the Malator project next episode. So if you're watching this later on YouTube, that's a subscribe button. There's the next episode. If you're watching us live on Twitch, of course, we're just gonna go on and start making that big old tank now.